Welcome to the Praia de Rocha in Portimão, the World Beach Ultimate Championships 2025, a showcase for you of a format in the making. 4's Beach Ultimate here, played between the Italians and the French. The people's finalists, the Italians, and the 8th finishing France Federation, will have plenty of rested legs this morning. Myself, Hannah Pendlebury, alongside Steph Pazzo. This is a bit of a novel showcase for us.
Yeah, this is a showcase specifically for the Olympic movement, the push for Ultimate to become an Olympic sport, reducing the amount of players, reducing the players' playing surface. It's a bit more of an atrocious event. They've got to work themselves out there playing 4's, smaller pitch, and we've got France, Italy, two teams with high expectations that maybe not met, but let's have a closer look at what the adaptations are. Starting with the smaller pitch, they've buried the back lines, they've made it shorter. It is the same width. 2-pointers? What is this? We got a 3-point line here? How does that work, Hannah?
Well, of course, if you can go coast to coast, from one end zone to the other, whether the foot is in the end zone proper or on the tape physically, you can grab yourself 2 goals for 1, which is kind of a nice affair, as you say, reminiscent of a 3-pointer in basketball.
A good way to get back in modern NBA basketball. People, the 3-point shooting goes up. I'd love to see a lot of that. Foot on the front line or anywhere in the end zone is for 2. Lower stall counts, we said. The time cap removed. It is a soft cap, as you will. 20-minute half, which will stop after the point regardless of score. A 20-minute second half that will stop regardless unless it's tied, and we'll play one more point. Otherwise, that'll put it in the books.
Yeah, rather a brutal finish, but certainly if it's a draw, that makes things extra spicy indeed. So, an upside-down pulls as well required. And Laffy getting us started. Casarini on the underneath, around to Laffiata. Barzazzi streaking towards the deep space, and that will be the first goal for Italy.
And Barzazzi with his first look on the O-line of the whole week. He's been relegated to the D-line for the Italian mixed club. Some speculation as to why, no one entirely sure except the Italian coaching staff, but that is what he brings to the game. His athleticism, his leaping ability. He's a big body, plays with a lot of confidence, can go both ways, but his offensive efficiency is second to very few.
Well, with much smaller rosters and smaller pitch in front of us, it, of course, is a really interesting choice for the French Federation to choose. Not quite as mountainous as a male matching set.
Yes, very few from the open team. I believe all the male matching are from the mixed team, though some of the female matching are from the women's team, as we get a hammer pull out of Pancotti. And they may not be quite as big as their Italian counterparts today.
Portimão goes back to La Rivière, who was playing for the women's side. Absolutely phenomenal tournament. Borno as well. Who's going to streak away? It is Scazzieri with the attack, and the challenge makes it more difficult, and our first turnover. Tognetti. Pancotti grinding through physicality is there, and that's a great track down, but well taken away by the defense. Roger Michael.
Great job by Roger Michael, the Puc native out of Paris. Catches up ground. Tognetti thought he could put it over top, but that might be one matchup where the French do have the height. Michael takes advantage of Fantini.
Great layout from Borno, but just misses the disc. Of course, this high-paced format is going to be heavier on the turnovers than you'd see in our regular competition here on the beach. Pancotti with a nice box out to Scazzieri. Now Fantini. Tognetti in space. Oh, but he stops, and the poach comes through. Nice eyes from Portimão. Well, this is where it now starts to grind through the legs. A beautiful one leading the charge, and that is just too easy for Camille Rivière.
Great finish. I thought they were going to make Lison Bordeaux lay out again, but this time they put a beautiful leader for La Rivière. She runs into it. Bordeaux did throw the body there twice. The first one ever so close. Had two hands on it. I was actually very surprised to see that pop out of her hands, as assuredly handed as she is. But they did a good job to get it back. Malta, a little flurry of turns in the middle there. And a lot of that, I think, is chalked up to the fast stall count here. The 6-second stall count rather than the 10. The players know right from the moment they get the disc that they've got to make decisions a lot quicker. And that may well be what's accounting for it, but nothing that slowed down that last throw for the goal.
Laffy setting his sights. Has Barzadi on the underneath, but that's a great layout play from Félix Priot-Martin.
Fefe.
Forget with a switch around, Lafiata calling the infraction.
So I think we've got our first 6-second stall out call. Maybe retracted.
They should be taping your lines as well.
Forget with the dish and follow through. Nice matchup. Oh, but taken away and recovered by Priot-Martin. Spicy stuff, Zoe Forget. Beast the beast. And then good continuation flow. Called not quite in the end zone, but Forget will support it. And that's 2-1 to the French with the break.
A little bit of confusion there after the goal. Forget continued, justifiably so. I think Lafiata thought that there would have been a stoppage as the straddle was called. There was not. Forget cashed it in. And the French go up 2-1. We're on serve here. Nothing but holds. And there's that moment there, that near block.
That was a break, Steph.
That was a break. Oh, indeed it was.
Tognetti. To Fantini. Big shoot up. Oh, that stretch is there, but Pingu can't make the collection. Of course, was a World Beach Club medalist last year with Margarita Mixed.
No, with Jet Set.
Oh, Jet Set,
a gold
sorry.
medalist with, in the Open division.
Was that Irish team that really had just so many Irish players on it?
They had a few Italians over there.
They did.
But not the Pingu.
Oh, that is a scorcher of a forehand for Borno.
What a beautiful throw by Pouplin. Seeing the space there, adapting to the new field. These players have played now 7 days on a ultimate field that is woof-doof championship regulation. Adapting to the new surface for a showcase game like this puts the most pressure on the throwing. I think the stall count puts the pressure on the lungs and the legs. But a great throw, Pouplin, and throwing to such a sure-handed receiver in Lison Borneau, and the French getting it done. 3-1.
Of course, 3 options with an out-of-bounds pull. You can brick it in the normal fashion. You can have it on your sideline or your goal line if you're going to go for that 2-point conversion, which Laffy seems to be doing.
I thought they were going to go for Barzadi deep for sure.
Instead, it's Arturo Laffy tracking it, and that is some very swift, clean offense from Italy.
Switch things around, put Laffy in the attacking space, and Barzadi throws a dot. I'd love to see these teams start attacking that 2-pointer. I mean, I guess that's what, when you're dying for breaks in the game as we know it up until this point, you really have no options unless you can throw the body, get a D, and convert. Now it's like, hey, we can just chuck it back to our own end zone here and score in a different fashion and get the 2-for-1 on the same, or 2 for none on the very same point. I thought Laffy for sure with these pole options. I mean, why would you take the end zone option if you're not going to take the shot is my question, because you can have the brick and take an extra free 12 meters or take it from the tape and go for 2.
Well, I suppose it's the caliber of all these throws. They can hit the money anywhere. But that's a spill. Perhaps from the fatigue starting to cling through. Oh, it's got a lot of wobble on it. I think there might have been a hand for the defence. And Pancotti lays but can't collect.
Oh.
Riviere, though, comes up short. Fantini to Tognetti. Leads into Scazzieri. And that will close off the point. The Italians break back.
Scazzieri in full gladiator mask. Rip Hamilton Pistons-esque. Can't be stopped when she gets open. Roger Michael had a tough point that time. He spilled the beans, and then his next throw low and into the sand, giving 2 opportunities to these Italians. They're going to take the second, and we'll take them more and more if you keep giving them away. It looks like trading time is off and running here in the sands. That makes sense at the end of the tournament, as the prom is jam-packed right now, filling up, as with the stands.
Been out. Roger with the reset. Oh, and that's an absolute dime of a throw. Full stretch flop. Félix Priot-Martin.
The man known as Fefe plays in the Nemours club originally. Tsunami is shifted over to Is No Good. The year I was coaching there, we put a recruiting effort in to get him after he beat us up in a training game. We said, let's take that guy. And you know why the French put him on this 4v4 roster?
Wow.
To take things down like that. But Fefe is the smallest big player I've ever known. He's got monstrous calves. He gets up off the ground well. He's got speed is probably his strongest element of the game, and a solid sound thrower.
Oh, big stretch out for Fantini, but it's naught but a face full of grains. Patience. Iborno. Oh, great attack around the shoulder, but held off by La Riviere. It's going to shoot to the back cone, and it is another layout goal. Roger Michael reels it in for the French break, and they have a little bit of daylight now here, Steph.
5-3, 8.5 to play until they finish the point and stop. Not a finish the point and add 1, remember. It seems like if I'm the Italians right now, this is a great time to shoot for 2. Tie things up with a huck. Of course, there are the ramifications of missing and having to play defense. But from the pole, playing catch-up before the half might be a nice time to test this rule set out.
Well, scuba pull. Pops back to Laffy. Again, not shooting all the way tape to tape, but that one will go in. Very swishy throw from Laffiata.
Nicole Laffiata, otherwise known as Wendy Rimini. She's part of the brass for Tequila Boom Boom and the Paganello organization. Works a lot with Coach Eugenio JJ Festa. And this year had one of her best club campaigns for Tequila Boom Boom. They had one of their best finishes I've known of, and Nicole Laffiata was in the top 5 of stat takers for that game.
Well, it's
for that campaign, rather.
It's wild, of course, because Tequila Boom Boom, sand specialists, you know, by nature, actually knocking BFD's shout out in the Italian Championships to steal away the World Clubs bid for Limerick next season.
Yeah, that was massive at the start of this season. kind of went under the radar, and then a lot of jaws dropped as the news got out.
Oh, great grab from Camille Larivière. Just tracking that all the way in. Poplin. Oh, and that's Flo on the break side. Nice and easy, Lison Bourneau. And France stay ahead with just over 6 minutes remaining in the first half. So not too much of a shorter format time-wise than a full flush beach game.
I mean, there's just no added time, or much less added time than a normal game, in theory, but you still get a finish point, so that could break the theory.
Or 2 20-minute halves would dictate, we're nearly 45 minutes for our regulation clock for the rest of these matches out here.
Italy had a tough campaign, 13th. They played the U.S. on the showcase pitch early. A lot of hype. Here's that. They're going for two. They're going for two. Ooh. I like that they're doing it, Hannah.
Yeah, a little bit less angled, a bit more touch on that one, and it could have been good. Barzazzi certainly had separation. Well, now it's going to be the French trying to go coast to coast. I wonder if you're allowed to do greatest still.
It's gotta. Oh, no, it would count for one, because there would have been a foot in your own end zone. Mac, that's a question.
Laffy breaks the mark around. Oh, and you can see the reach and hope of Zoe Forget. Trying to use that big frame, but it's Lafayette that will hang on. But yes, the Italians ending up in the People's Final here, the 15-16 game.
Major disappointment as a campaign for them. Again, you go back to their showcase against the U.S. and there was a lot of hype around the Italians. They kept it close with the Americans. Of course, then there was the big game with the Americans getting ousted, and they only finished 6th, which was a jaw-dropping shock for everyone, them more than any. Lost their last game even to the Canadians, but a lot of parity. You gotta love that part of this mixed division. It was really anyone's game. The Germans, as we all know now, came away on top.
Oh, very curvy forehand. Can the French back it up? Oh, it's the takeaway. The eyes from Luca Tognetti. Sends into Fantini. The French valuing the deep space, but allowing the Italians on the underneath. Oh, pop over the top. A Pringle of a throw for Pingu. Tognetti with the goal.
Pingu with the bookends. Shuts the door with the big left hand on the other end and charges down the field to make himself an option for the Fantini floater.
Well, the Italians still trailing one break in the first half, but starting to find a little bit of groove to work through here.
Trailing a break, but tied up on the board. We, of course, know the second half will afford the French to start on O. That might be where you see it on the scoreboard if they hold. And it really depends on what happens at this point coming up here, or all the points before half. There is no Galaxy point. That does no longer exist.
Yes, only double game points in Ultimate 4's. If you can be tied at the end, you get to play one extra. Makes the format a little bit more predictable, but no hard cap either. Forget doesn't like the upline, chooses the around. France just really using the legs to churn through the points. Oh, a cheeky lefty hammer. You love to see it. Forget collects no sweat.
Jules Lamar pulls out La Marteau, the hammer, for the goal.
Oh, a bit of
There's a bit of a blammer, actually, blade hammer. He is no gooder. He arrived after my time coaching there. As these stands continue to fill up. Hannah, of course, we touched on it at the top. This is an adaptation for the Olympics. We can do it again. The Olympic movement, the smaller our sport can be, the more easily integrated it can be into an Olympic format. And these test runs, these experiments with this format is exactly what it's for, to show the Olympics that this game can be played in different formats, still have same levels of excitement to put on display.
Cognetti with the elevator forehand, and there's a bit of contact, but that is just fair fight on the defense. Great block from Michael. La Rivière opens up separation. Oh, that's a great stretch effort. But you can tell the pressure of this smaller format. A lot of these throws coming out a touch too far as the fatigue starts to really set in, the lactic acid builds, and the first half reaching its conclusion with just 7 seconds left on the clock.
This will be the last point.
Over the shoulder, take away from La Rivière. Borno stretches it, Scazzieri, 18 on 18, and it's a block from Irene.
Scazzi shuts the door. A natural goal scorer for Fury on grass for the last few years. Shout before that. But a war of attrition out there. There's only 8 players. That's something else that needs reminding. They only have 1 sub each, essentially. They play every other point.
Well, after this, oh my goodness, the thief! La Rivière with the steal. Pops back to Borno, but a stall out called. Well, we'll talk about transition to defense quite a lot in Ultimate games, but the transition to offense in Ultimate 4's all the more important. That awareness to make the most of the 6 seconds of the stall count.
Contested stall count. It will go back.
Oh, the French know a little something about contested stalls. Michael. Oh, slices the inside. And it's going to be called good. La Rivière thinking that she might have to go it again, but that will indeed be a break for the French. 4 for them, 2 for the Italians as we go into the halftime break.
Yeah, I wasn't so sure that was in, but it is indeed. The French take the half. We got a tight match, so Hannah. 8-6, France over Italy.
Half-time in our Ultimate 4's showcase. The boardwalk is the place to be here in Portimão, the Praia de Roche beach, hosting the World Beach Ultimate Championships, and we're taking an advantage here to showcase this new iteration. The Italians trailing by 2 below the French. But it is all still to play for, and I suspect, Steph, we might get a couple more of the 2-pointer attempts in the second stanza.
Yeah, 2-point trails, nothing in this version of the game. They can come straight back in one fell swoop. I guess for Italy right now, they are pulling, so it'll take 2 fell swoops. But a very exciting affair here. More riveting than a Pittsburgh steel mill.
Well, not the most stakes that we've got out on the sands today. These two teams in the mids down at the bottom of our bracket for the mixed division, showing us their skills out here. Forget with the grind underneath. Casarini trying to get the interruption. And it's a swing and a miss as they try and connect with Julie Medal. But that's a big old piece from Zoe Forget on the hand of Susanna Casarini.
You could see Forget shaking her head no with disagreement initially. Let's see how this works itself out.
I feel nothing. And I clapped. The disc fell down immediately. I don't feel resistance. Ouais, I don't feel resistance. Okay. I felt that.
Doing quite a while. Yeah, thank you. Foul contested. Still counts. 2? Okay. So you're gonna say 2, or we're gonna restart at 2? 2. Okay, stalling 2.
So contested foul. 4 seconds to escape, and they take the reset. A little back in on the underneath. Barzazi. Opportunity to go for 2, and he's going to shoot it deep. It's going to sink and sit, and 2 points for the Italians. Arturo Laffi with the sky.
Woo! Flying prosciutto, Laffi gets up, takes down the first 2-pointer ever. And you see the new signal now too, Hannah. One other addition to the game, our hand signals implemented in the last 5 years. The goal signal, 2 hands straight up, now has a bend in the elbows, as the super dump was for a reason. Look at Laffi get up.
Well, such an interesting change to the format, Steph. Normally being pinned in your own territory, your heart is racing, you're wondering, is the defense going to intercept me for a goal, for a Callahan? Whereas here, taking that super dump and then ripping it to the other side gets the Italians back level.
Little reverse dump for the 2-pointer there, to put a couple of snowmen on the board.
Tognetti with the block. And the Italians starting to find their rhythm. Pancotti. Scazzieri too far away. Pantini thinks about it. Scazzieri. Nice follow. Oh, leads the charge, and that's a great bit of awareness and reaction from Luca Tognetti, who throws the goal, and the Italians now in front for the first time since they took the first point.
Well, the second half has been nothing but Italia. Starting with the 2-pointer to Arturo Prosciutto Laffi. They have been able to bounce back and break again. Luca Tognetti leading the charge. 2 blocks, 2 assists, and a goal. Having a day out there. As the Italians stay ahead, Scazzieri with the goal. The speedster from Bologna, of course, but is now well and truly into the San Francisco Fury scene. As you get a look at some of the Irish there, Sam Murphy amongst many of his teammates.
Indeed, and some teammates out on the pitch in front from that club championship this time last year. Always nice to see Smurf getting involved. Forget on the underneath. Oh, but just a lack of focus from Julien Menard. And gives the disc away for the Italians. They have not scored in the second half for France. And that's going to be another bucket for the Italian side. Lafayette toes the tape. And the Italians now with a commanding lead, 10-8.
They just ran up the side there once they got it back. Menard with a focus error. And then once it was picked up by Laffy Casarini into the end zone, Lafayette, they used no more than 2 meters of the line there, just kept it tight to the sideline, jam it in the jam hole as it's sometimes known, but they had enough space to make it feel like they were freely putting it up the line. French defense got caught, allowing the open side to be all too easy, and the Italians took advantage of it. Susanna Casarini with her first assist of the game.
France now pinned to the near sideline. A lot of body contact from Fantini on Michael. Larivière, a leader for Lison Bourneau. Gaia Pancotti as a defender, completely left on an island there. Nothing to do about that.
First score of the second half for the French. Get it to Bourneau. Never a bad plan. Lison, the elder of the two phenom sisters, Eva and Lison, who's here, as she cashes in and brings the French back to within one. It's 9-10. I really like these stats, Hanny.
Well, Larivière leading the charge for France. That's no surprise alongside Bourneau. Barzazzi having some good action. You wonder why he's been tucked on the Italian D-line all championship.
Yeah, you certainly do when you see what he's capable of on an O-line. You can only be left to wonder at this stage, though.
So the FMP is getting it done for the French. Oh, that's a great layout grab for Casarini. 13.5 minutes left on the game clock. Laffy. Barzazzi. Oh, that's going to be an electrifying play up line for Laffy as the WIFDEF staff tease the crowd on the far sidelines.
What a throw by Barzazzi. I mean, this guy is awesome. I will never understand why he was not on the O-line. Will never. And, this is a great display of what they were missing. It might upset some of the Italian fans to be watching this and seeing his efficiency and wondering where that might have been over the course of the week. But, Casarini has that layout grab. Barzazzi, more of a threat to go deep, you often think, but when he comes back, he's had so many games in his career where he's taken over with his throwing. He's a big body. They back him, so he has to come under, and then he burns you out of hand, and he's putting on a clinic doing that today.
Well, now it's the French shooting for two, but there's the block. A great read by Fantini, gets up strong. To further your point, Steph, I agree. The kind of concept of playing out of your expected position on beach is so dynamic. It's really difficult for defenders to make up the space once you've been sold down the river. Pancotti feeding Tognetti. There's isolation for Scazzieri. Leader. Oh, and that is just creativity, a show of the caliber of Andrea Fantini. The Italians now really commanding the lead. That's 2 holds for both sides, but that tray of breaks, including the 2-pointer, making such a difference in the second half.
King Fanto, as he's known, gets the bookends in some end, an assist on the other side. This throw's great, this inside out. He really leans into it, ensures that the coverage will not be anywhere near his throw shape, and leads one out in front for the man known as Pingu to run into. At one time, two-time Tokai super teamer, but a one-time beach club championship champion from last year, as mentioned off the top. I mean, a shining resume for that man.
That is a vintage game to watch as well. I think you had an iconic call of like, that's just melted my brain.
Yes, my brains are melting out of my ears.
That's the one. And that's bang on the money. Really nice execution of the throw to Lemar.
You know, you talk about Barsazi's ability to stretch deep and get the unders and then have to be able to be a great thrower. It's even more impressive with this younger Zoe Forget. She is, you know, world gamer. She is won an under 20. She is 20 years old. Won under 20s a year and a half ago.
World Beach last year?
World Beach no, she was not on the World Beach mixed team. But moving from strength to strength, and again, athleticism, defense. She can cover tall players. She can get over to the end zone. She can move. And then when you see her throw, and you're like, oh my goodness, she's so good at throwing too. That one, outside in forehand, beautiful touch. These end zones are small. The window with Laffy coming even smaller, and she just puts it on a platter for a goal.
I know I'm getting confused. It was brother Enzo that was part of that French team, was it not?
I'm not too sure.
They all blend into one sometimes. Scazzieri on the inside finds another backhand to feed Pancotti, and that is some tasty offense from the Italians to stay in the lead.
Now, normally this would be game over on the beach, Hannah, 13-10.
Indeed, but no hard cap in our 4's showcase, just running down the clock.
2 20-minute halves. Play them out. 1 extra point if it's tied. That's it. Simple, easy to follow, easy to ingest, easy to implement into the Olympics.
And if you were to have, of course, three-way ties, can you imagine the point differential impact? Considering there's no hard cap, you can just beat your opponents, continue the game, stretch it through, stretch it to, do an absolute shellacking, put your opponents on ice.
Beat them into a pulp with just consistent two-pointers raining down on them.
Almost like a battlefield with a sea of arrows. But that would make, especially if we had a topsy-turvy division like we have here on the Mixed Beach Championship, where teams beating each other all over the shop, and the women's as well, could make for some very interesting arithmetic.
So French staying as close as they need to right now. They got to get a stop or start taking some shots for some doubles. With 8 minutes to go, there's enough time, but they don't want to let this drag on too far before they start trying to make up for their current deficit.
Let's try to do it again. One more time, come on. 1, 2, 3.
Well, the stand's starting to fill up even more with spectators as this one starts to reach towards its conclusion. Fantini through to Scazzieri. Oh, and everybody moving almost in a line like they're trying to rake the sand clean. Oh, and an inside laced. A frilly backhand. Tognetti to Scazzieri. 14 for Italy. And we find a rhythm.
Little tagliatelle ragu there, the two bolognese connecting. Pingu showing off the backhand. Scazzi just dancing in the middle of the end zone until the right opening arose. I wonder if a pull that was like a vertical blade, what would happen if it was deemed not upside down? Would it be penalized? Is this...
I imagine it's probably going to follow the same rules as out-of-bounds pulls.
So it would be the choice of 3 for the receiving team to have 3 options to bring it in.
If I were writing the rule set, Steph, that's what I'd go for. A little shot there of Sofia Pereira, the wonderful president of the Beach Ultimate Lovers Association, big part of the local organisation here in Portimão. And that's a big shot to the end zone, but dishes out over the tape. And the Italians with another chance to extend their lead.
Menard puts just a bit too much Dijon mustard on that one and goes out beyond the flying Fefe Prior Martin.
Bazazi coast to coast, and that's going to be good for the goal. Afiata rips it out of the sand with almost a rainbow for 2 points.
Double-double. And the Italians making the most of the rule set here, cashing in their second 2-point bucket. Barzazzi to Lafiata. Barzazzi showing even more of his offensive prowess, and Lafiata using the athleticism to ensure.
Oh, well, apparently, according to the game advisors, that's only good for one.
But I am baffled. I saw Barzazzi's toe on the tape there, and I was assured that the front of the end zone was 2. Dmitry Doroshenko, the GA on the far side, I believe, that was down there. Here it is again. What is his foot in front of the line? That looks like the left foot's on the line. Well, maybe it slipped off, but I didn't see that.
We are getting the back view on that window rather than the direct side-on view.
Well, the game advisory coming even more into play in this version, having to spot the legitimacy of the 2-point shot.
We'll get Hawkeye, I'm sure, if it makes it into the Olympics.
Could the opponent overrule that? That was beautiful by Lison.
Massive have, and tosses it to the ground. Sort of seems to be confusion on the pitch yet. She's going to be deemed out of bounds.
Yes, it did lift. Awesome catch still. Tough break for the high fly on Borno. The integrity call. Could the opponent say, no, his foot was on the tape. Give it to him. Surely.
Well, surely if it makes it to the level of full inclusion in the Olympics, we get a foul call on that one. Bit too much touch from Poplin. I wonder if we would end up with a Hawkeye system, because of course that's now what you get in tennis and the likes. There's no human error, it's just physical machinery.
We could just get robots to play.
Scazzieri with the rundown and another notch on the post for the Italians. Well, now it's 16-11.
Well, normally I would say this one's all over but the crying. But because of the 2-point rule, a chance exists for the French, but they got to start shooting from that end zone. What I would be, early tactics, this is a young version of this game, I'd be attacking to half and then going for a super dump, a free super dump. And then you got to get everybody else back out and try and isolate one in that 5 seconds you got to throw it. Yeah, it's an interesting how you would make this work, but you got to set up the 2-point play when you're coming from behind, and there is no extension of play.
Well, this is what we're getting. 2 on the goal line. Wonder if we'll send it back. Yes, indeed. After the races goes Forget.
It's got to go back again.
It doesn't have to. But it would help. Lemar. Bernard was available. It's a scoop low for Forget. And puts it out on a piece of string. Nice work for France. 2 minutes and 8 seconds remaining for them to notch 4 to reach the Italians, because of course if there is more than a 1-point deficit when the time expires and you finish out that point and you're not level, that's it, game over.
Yeah, the further you move upfield, the less inclined you are to go all the way back. But at this stage of the game, 1 point is really doing you no good, and a learning curve for everyone here, ourselves included up in the booth.
Well, can you imagine almost like a reverse flood situation where it goes all the way back and half the players just switch towards the disc and one of them bounces back out? Starts to create some really interesting opportunities to be creative. Italians going for the deep shot, Fantini underneath it, but so too is the great defence. But it's a posterising grab for Andrea Fantini, and surely that is the game done and dusted, Seth.
Mikael, not sure, got up a little bit, not sure if he was upset or disappointed or maybe injured, but I was trying to communicate something to Fantini, but really did end up getting posterized by Fantini here.
Well, the Italians have played an absolute blinder in this second half, Steph. The two-pointer, a trail of breaks, and they just keep punching them in. They seem to have found a bit more of the love on these isolations. And the throws really dialed in as well. Which begs the question of the talent that they could have had if things had been different during the course of this beach championships.
If only.
I'll just have to do it next time around in 2 years, wherever that will be. All this for two. It's going to sit and sail and hang. And is the footwork good enough? The catch was great. Borget slams into the sand, and that will be two for France. But time has expired, and they cannot level the score.
Italy wins on a French score. Zoe Forget was awesome grab there. A bit unsure as soon as she got the nod from Lafiata, then gave the hard spike. But the hard spike will be the end of it. They finish on a high, but it is the Italians who played out the better full game and will walk away with the win here. As time expires, their lead will allow them to prevail.
Well, that is it for our Ultimate 4 showcase. This rather unique format, trying to catch the eye of those IOC administrators to pick what will be included in the next iterations of those wonderful sporting events.
It seems only fitting that Ultimate is the next sport considered. Get us in Brisbane, Mammoth and friends. We'd love to be there, and this a great version of the game to be able to showcase on that stage.
Well, you have to say hats off to the Italians. They played that second half like they own the sand out here on the Praia de Roche. Both teams, nice to see them well rested and coming out here. I mean, 8 for 12 for the Italians. That's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad at all. O-line Barzazzi showing why he should have been there all week long. Great performance by the Italians.
Well, that game had a little bit of curiosity for our fans in the stands. It's been a hot one out here in the Praia de Roche in our midday time slot. Nice to see the execution for both teams on the two-pointers, reaching right into the back pocket. But that will do it for our WFDF showcase of Ultimate 4's here on the sands in the Algarve. The party in Portimão will continue with our rest of our finals in the Open and Women's Division. But for myself, Hannah Penderby, for Stefan Patso, Ultiworld coverage of Ultimate 4's.